Okay, so let's look at question 1. What do you get for the mean? 3.1. Talk to me, people.
Yes, 3.1.
What about the median?
3.
What about the mode?
5.
And the range?
5.
The range is also 5? Yes, that's 5 minus 0. So that makes sense. The mode is the one with the highest frequency. And that is 5, so that's correct. Median. Okay, so the median and the mean are the two that I'm really going to emphasize on. When you have a frequency table, I need your attention, like I said. If you are well grounded with this, then you won't commit the blunder in the first instance. So the last thing you want to do is getting distracted again, and somebody needs to remind you again from 5. There won't be time for that. When you have the frequency table, this is the approach you use. That's why I was a bit surprised when I saw a lot of people writing 1 plus 1 plus 1, 2 plus 2 plus 2, and all those stuff. No, there's a reason we taught you this in maybe Form 1 or Form 2. And I expect everybody to remember. But of course, it's okay to forget. So please, pay attention. And I do not want us to just memorize summation fx over summation f. Because this is not like IB where you have a formula booklet, and it's not like volume questions like GCSE where the formula will be written, so which means you have to remember what to do. So please pay attention to why we have this. So even if you don't remember this, then you know what to do. If I've given you 3, 5, 0, 1, and I ask you to find the mean, you would have done, by the way, this is the notation for mean, x bar, but you don't have to remember that now. Mean is equal to this, is okay. Alright? You would have done 3 plus 5 plus 0 plus 1, and you divide by what? 4. And that's what you should have done, right? But the problem is, the reason we have this is because of situations like this. You have x and you have frequency. X could be age, x could be salary, x could be height of students, whatever. Alright? So let's say we have x as the age now, x in years now. X is the age this time around. You have 11, 12, you have 13. Okay? And this, you have here 5, maybe this one is 2, and maybe this is maybe this is 8. Okay? Maybe I make it not too complicated. Let's say 3. And the question is find the mean. Now this table was constructed as a result of the following data, which is what some of you were trying to do. There are 11 how many times?
5.
5 times. There are 12 how many times? And there are 13 3 times. So when I gave you the paper, like maybe some minutes ago, I saw a lot of people trying to do something like 11 plus 11 plus 11 and all that. The question is, now how many data do I have? 10, right? What if I have 100 data summarized in this table? Are you going to add 100 data one by one? That's why when you see a frequency table, you do not even think of adding individually. So please pay attention, like I said. Rather than adding 11 plus 11 plus 11, how can I write this in the short form? 11 times 5. Similarly, 12 times 2, or 2 times 12. And similarly, 13 times 3. Now, what do we call this number of appearance? The frequency. That's the number of times they occur. Let me give you a more realistic, a more practical way of what this means. Let's say, for example, everybody in this class is between the ages of 11 and 13. I know you're not, so calm down. Between the level of 11 and 13. And we are 10 in number. If you are 11 years old, raise your hand, then 5 people raise their hand. Let's say these 5 people are 11 years old. They are babies, as you can see. They're just babies. Okay. Now, like I said, if you are 12 years old, raise your hand, then Cherry and, let's pretend Cherry is there. Cherry and Krista raise their hand. If you are 13 years old, then these 3 boys raise their hand. Okay. So if I want to find the mean of their ages, rather than do 11 plus 11 plus 11 and all those stuff, that's what we are trying to achieve. But also, I could ask each person, because I know I need the summation. I need to know the total age and how many people. Of course, how many people will be 10? Definitely, right? I need the total age. So rather than adding one by one, I could give them the task and say, okay, you guys add yourself, you guys add yourself, you guys add yourself. And I come back and ask, what is the sum of your ages in this group? And they tell me 55. They don't even have to take the calculator to do 11 plus 11 plus 11. They know they are of the same age. Well, I'm 11 years old. How many are we on this table? 5. Okay, we are 5 times 11. Do you get that? That is why we tell you, whenever you have a table like this, in this form, you can actually just do your multiplication on the next line. Or if you don't want to do it in a horizontal format, that's why there is space in the worksheet. X, frequency, the next column will be X times F. That's what we mean by Fx.
But what's the weekly line?
Summation.
Oh,
Okay, so 11, 12, 13. The 11-year-old, they are 5. Fx will be 55. This is the summation for this group. Okay? For those that are 12 years old, they are 2. 22, that's the summation for Krista and Jerry. 24, my bad. Okay? For these 3 boys, they are 13-year-old each. The summation of their ages is what? 39. But I don't need individual summation. I need the summation of all the 10 of them. That's why I'm going to add these 3. So rather than adding in 10, I had just 3 groups. Okay? And what is that? This is 9, 9, that's 18. What's that?
118.
118? Yes, 118. Then how many people was I dealing with? 10 people, because there are. So the frequency of the first group tells you how many people are here. Frequency of the second group tells you how many people. Frequency of the third group tells you how many people. The total frequency tells you how many people altogether. So you have 10 people. So instead of adding 1 by 1 and divide by 10, I just add the fx together and divide by the f. That's the meaning of this. Does it make sense? So when you have a frequency table, you do not think of adding individually. You think of creating this kind of table, creating the next column for x times f, get your fx, add it together, get your frequency, add it together, then this divided by this is your mean. Any questions? Now, for the median, which is another issue that some of you had, let's go back to this same information. Median is the item in the middle, right? Here there are 10 people, okay? There's a reason I said n plus 1. If you have 3, I'm going to arrange this item in order. Of course, your median is when you arrange in order, okay? If I have 3, 7, and 8, what is the median? 7. That's the one at the middle. You're not listening, sir. Now, there is 1 item, 2 items, 3 items. For 3 items, the median is the second item, correct? So median position is actually not n over 2. The purpose of this is to get the position of the item and trace it in the table. The median position is 3 plus 1 divided by 2. When there are 3 people, the second person is the one at the middle. That's not 3 divided by 2. That's 3 plus 1 divided by 2. Who is the one? Who's the median here? What position is he?
3.
Is that 5 plus divided by 2?
No.
So you have to add 1 to the total and divide by 2 to achieve the one in the middle.
What if it's odd number?
Same. Okay, let's see. There are 6 people, for example. Let's just deal with 4. 4, 6, 7, 11. How do you find the median of this information? You do 6 plus 7 divided by 2, right? Because you are trying to find the midpoint of this, isn't it? The midpoint is somewhere here, right? Which is what position is that? First, second, between the second and third, which is like 2.5, right? Isn't that also 4 plus 1 divided by 2? Does it make sense? So, to find your median, add 1 to the summation of frequency, which is your n, divide it by 2, then trace the position. And you are lucky because the table is arranged in order. So in this case now, if I want to get my median, what is my summation? 10. 10 plus 1 is what?
11.
So the position of my median is 11 divided by 2, which is 5.5. So my median is the item between the 5th and the 6th. Now, my 5th stops here. My 6th begin here. So my median is between 1, 11 and 1 of the 12. So that's 11 plus 12 divided by. And if you look at it from here, the median is between these two. Does it make sense? Those are the two major. So now let's solve question 1 and 2 together now. So for question 1, I have mark and I have frequency. My mark is my x. So when I have this, the next thing is to do my fx, which is my f times x. That's why you have space, okay, to create this table. So you have 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And frequencies are 2, 4, 5, 5, 6, 8. Now let's do the fx together. What is the first fx? 0. Second fx?
4.
So you have 0, 4, yes? 10,
15, 24, 40.
So can somebody find summation? So this is the summation now. Summation is that sigma notation. You do more of sigma notation in Form 5. Or maybe after IGCSE, I don't know, depending on what we're getting. What is summation quickly?
30.
What? Oh, I was wondering why that would be 33 if this is 40. What is F?
30.
Okay, so which means my mean is simply 93 divided by 30. And what is that? 3.1. Okay, now let's find the median. So for the median, you first find the position. The position will be 30 plus 1 divided by 2, so which is like 15.5th item. I put this so you know it's the position. If I just leave it as 15.5, what I'm saying is the median is 15.5. That's not the median. What I'm doing here is just the position. Okay? So my median is, it means the location. Where is my median? Where is that median value? The location is between 15 and 16. Okay? Then I start tracing from the beginning. Please pay attention. The second number is 0. The third number begins from here. So basically you are adding 2 plus this, 6 plus that, 11. 11 plus this,
60.
so now 11, this is up to this point is 11. So from this point is 12 to 16, which means 15 and 16 are here.
Yeah.
So that is 3. Because it's the same thing. Worst case scenario, you're going to do 3 plus 3 divided by 2. Don't waste your time, just pick it. You need to do the addition, like in this case, 11 plus 12 divided by 2, because they are different. Your position is in the boundary. Alright? But in this case, your position is in the same place. So you just pick the value. Anika, are you lost?
Yeah.
Okay, I do it again. The median is the one in the middle, right? Do you understand what I said here about the position? So when you want to, the first thing is, I can always know who the median is. If I know how many you are, then I can know where the median should be. So these guys are 5. Because they are 5, I know this is the median. So because they are 5, I could easily locate his position, then look at him and say, oh yes, his name is that. So there is a difference between his position and his name. So if I ask you who is in the middle, I'm not asking you to identify the middle position, I'm asking you to name the person. Do you get my point? So 2 things here. This is to tell you where the person is located. Alright? The real result, the final result, is who is that person in this position. That is the median. Okay? So the first thing we try to do here is to find the location of that value. And because there are 30 of them, the location will be 15.5, which means between the 15th item and the 16th item. Does it make sense? Because between the 15th item and the 16th item, it means on your left there are 15, on the right there are 15. Then that is the middle. Your position cannot be 15. If you divide 30 by 2 and you get 15, and you conclude that 15 is your median, is the position of your median, if you stay in the 15th position, just like, let's say, okay, you guys are 6, okay? If I go by 6 divided by 2 and I pick 3, so if I start from here, 1, 2, 3, and I said this is the median position. Look at my right. How many people do I have? How many on my left? On my left? 2. Is this the median? That's not. But if I stay in between the two of them, on my right, how many do I have? And on my left? So this is the position. So it's not divided by 2. It's plus 1 before you divide by 2. That's the point. So that's how we got this. So once you know the position, go to the table and trace it. So from here, so this means you have 0, 0. Then you have 1, 1, 1, 1. So that's 6 altogether. So up to this point, there are 6 of them. Then up to this point, there are 11 of them. No, from the beginning. But you are looking for between 15 and 16. When I get here, I have 16. It means 15 and 16 are here. So I'm going to get to a point where I have 3, 3, 3, 3, how many? 5, right? So, and this is number 15, this is number 16. But my median is in between them. So instead of saying 3 plus 1 divided by 2, because they are the same, you just pick your 3. But if you are working with a structure whereby your position is here, between maybe 4 and 5, then you have to do 4 plus 5 divided by 2. Any other questions? Does everybody know how to trace median now from the table? Okay. Now let's question.
Oh yeah, what is the sub?
This?
Yeah.
That sigma is a Greek letter. This means summation. Okay. The other Greek letter is this.
Another pipe.
No, that's variance.
What does that mean?
It's in statistics also, something you haven't learned. So these are both Greek letter, sigma. One is lowercase, one is uppercase. Just like you have this and this. Alright? They are Greek letters.
Thank you.
Okay. So it's 3. I was going to say something. Aha. This is an ungrouped data. If you check the questions at the back, everybody, check from question 6. You see group data with interval, right?
Yeah.
You use the same approach. In this case, no one will ask you for the median or the mode, because we do not know the median and the mode. Can somebody tell me why it doesn't make sense to ask us for the median and the mode? Because we have range, we don't have the value. If I'm trying to avoid people telling us their exact age in this class, I could ask them, if you are between 12 and 15, raise your hand. If I raise my hand, you don't know if I'm the youngest in the class or if I'm the oldest in that interval. And if 3 people raise their hand between, let's say between 12 and 15, 2 people raise their hand. Now, I'm considering 12, 13, 14, 15. I'm considering 4 age categories, but only 2 raise their hands. We don't know which one exactly. Even if 10 people raise their hand, we don't know if all the age categories are represented or not. So what we can get is estimates, not the exact, when you have a group data. Okay? And the question for your level will be, what is the median interval? Median interval means, in what interval does your median lie? Okay? There's a question there in number, look at number 7, everybody. Look at number 7. Write down the modal time interval. What is it?
71.
Only 2 people are speaking. Does everybody understand why it is? Because that's the interval where the mode will be found. That's the interval with the highest frequency. You understand? Is there another interval question? Okay, maybe I ask random question. Look at number 6. What is the modal interval? 70 to 90, right? Let's look at number 8. What is the modal interval? 40 to 50, right? What about number 10? What is the modal interval? 6,000 to 8,000?
Would it be 6,000?
No, it's a closed interval. There's a closed interval at the top, there's an open interval below. Okay, so they are not overlapping intervals. Okay? Does it make sense? So that's how you find your modal interval. Now, let's see. Yes. Okay. What about if the question is about median interval? For number 6, how do you find your median interval? It's not the question, but let's just play around with it. What do you do? Add the frequency plus 1, divide by 2, and see where that falls. Can I ask you to try for number 6? Just notice somewhere, and let's figure out the median interval for number 6, median interval for number 7, median interval for number 8, and median interval for number 10. Let's find the median intervals for each of these. Median interval. The interval where the median lies. Have you been listening to me?
Yes.
Median interval. If you have found one, raise your hand, please. Okay, go to the next one. And compare with someone around you. Be sure that you agree on what you have.
So Greg,
Yes.
so for the mean, do we just find like an inequality?
No. We talk about the mean. I want us to get through with the median interval for the mean of that interval is the last thing I want to talk about. Have you found all the median intervals? It's just one thing I need to remind everybody, and you can go ahead with your mean. And he actually mentioned it, but it's just that I don't need it now. Done? Do you agree? So, is that your median interval as well? Not yet. So due to time, can I please hear your feedback? Number 6, what's your median interval?
60 to 70.
60 to 70. What about 7?
72, 73.
72, 73?
Yes.
If you get that, raise your hands, please. Okay, good. What about number 8?
40 to 50.
40 to 50, raise your hand if you get something like that. Good. And number 10?
10,000 to 12,000.
Alright, so now that makes sense to us. The last thing is, when you have a group data, how do you find your mean? And IGCSE would not ask you for the mean. It will be called estimated mean, because we don't know the actual. So what we would do in that case is to find what we call the midpoint. Okay? So I have my interval, for example, maybe 11 to 12. I use this instead of the less than whatever, but it's the same thing. Okay, maybe I write it properly. 10 less than x less than 19. 11. How about we do? Okay, yes. Less than, yes, less than equal to 20. 20 less than blah blah blah. And so on. 29, something like this. Then you have your frequency. Now, unlike the first one, because I have to leave in 5 minutes, please listen. Unlike the first one, your next column should just be f times x, right? But you don't know your x. You only know the interval where the x lies. So the first thing you will do is to create one column for x. But in this case, your x is called the midpoint. Okay? After you get x, then you can find your f times x before you proceed. Then you need the summation here, and you need the summation here. You don't need the summation here. Now, the question is, how do we get our x? What is midpoint? Anybody?
The average.
What do you mean by mid? How do we find it? the midpoint of this interval is what?
Ask the smallest number and the biggest number.
And divide by 2. You have the extreme point and divide by 2. If you want to get the midpoint. How do you get 2 from 1 and 5? How do you get 3 from 1 and 5? That's 1 plus 5 divided by 2. So what will be the midpoint of the first one? 15. Second? This will be 30, definitely.
25.
That will be 25. So these are the numbers you use with the frequency to continue your work for the mean.
Okay.
So the mean you will get in this case is not the actual mean. It's the estimated mean. Because this is an interval. You don't know the exact values. Does it make sense? Giselle, you lost? You lost. Who doesn't understand what I said here so I can say it again?
That's what
Continue.
now. Oh.
Who doesn't understand? Anyone? Okay, so let's try to do question 6. Is it time yet?
Yeah, I think so.
No, we have like 3 minutes. We still have like 3 minutes. So who doesn't understand anything, please? Okay. Remember, this is how we find our mean. We multiply the frequency by x, then we get the total, what we did here. But unlike this, there is no x. Unlike this one, this kind of question doesn't have x. Quiet please. This doesn't have x. So your first task, because you need, fx means f times x. You have your f, which is the frequency. You don't know have your x yet, but you have the interval where x belongs. So you need to find an approximate value of your x. A value that represents the x that might be in that interval. And that's why we use the midpoint. So from this range, x is between this and this. So x is represented by 15. Because 15 is the midpoint. So we use the midpoint approach. That's why it's called, your final result is not the mean, it's called estimated mean. Does it make sense? So when you get to, unlike this, from your first x and f, you find your fx straight away. Here you cannot find your fx straight away. Because fx means f times x, right? But here, you only have your f, you don't have your x. So the first task is, get your x, then find your fx. So x here is the midpoint, so 10 plus this divided by 2, that's 15. 20 plus this divided by 2, that's 25, and you continue. Once you get that, then multiply each fx and get this column, and continue exactly the way you did here.
In the example, we have to calculate that.
Preferably, please. So you don't miss things out, and here especially, you need to, get your x first. You have to, it's better if you just draw a table. So can I ask you to please try question 6? If you can get question 6 before I leave, that would be great. I'm leaving in the next 1 or 2 minutes. So let's see what we have, and as an estimated value. And that will be all about the mean, median, mode, and range.
Oh, so this topic is finished?
Yeah, this is just to remind this. You have an idea what this is. It's just to give you the technicalities here. So tomorrow I'll come with statistical graphs. How do we interpret and draw some simple statistical graphs? We'll revise that. After that, when we come next week, it's going to be cumulative frequency curves. Yes, ma'am. The what? Factors. Vectors. Okay. Maybe when we finish, during the general revision for next week, I'll go over it again. How about that? Then maybe we can solve a lot of questions together. Okay, so I'll post this online if anybody needs to take the notes. If there are no other questions, I think we can dismiss the class now. Candy? Thank you. See you tomorrow.